Good afternoon, everybody. Right. Okay. If you can hear me, please say yes, or put a 1 in the box, or whatever you want to do. Yes, good. Okay. Right. Okay. Lesson 1. You start it from your profile page, not from the link itself. That's the first thing I've learned, and that was in a moment of pure panic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Stephen to join me so you can see how it works. So I've sent you an invitation, Stephen. If you accept it, you should come on screen. Now, when you do that, you will think that you're live, but there's a start streaming button at the top of your picture. If you press that, you will appear on screen. Right. Okay. Hello. I've got lots of feedback there.
Me too.
Right, I'm not opening anywhere else, am I? Just a minute, I'm just checking. The top of your picture. If you press that. Oh, wait a minute. Right. Okay. Hello. There's a delay. That's me. Lots of feedback there. That's the recording. I'm not opening anywhere else, am I? Just a minute, I'm just checking. I wonder how we can do that. Oh, wait a minute. Right. Okay. Hello. There's a delay. That's me.
Is it me or you?
Lots of feedback. That's coming from me. See, if I stop streaming, I'm not sure I'll get back in. So
I'll mute mine.
Okay, but it's recording me and it's looping around. Are you hearing it, Kevin? That's coming from me. If I stop streaming, I'm not sure I'll get back in.
I'll mute mine.
Okay, it's recording me. I'm getting a replay of about a few seconds ago. Right, okay. Stephen, can we just try something?
I'll mute mine.
Okay. I'm getting a replay of about a few seconds ago. Good afternoon, Krishna. Right, okay. Can we just try something? Right.
Yeah.
There's a button at the top that says stop streaming.
Yeah. Can we stop?
All right, so we are live.
As well.
If you press that, and then I'll bring you back in. Right, so we're back to me. I'm going to invite Krishna on camera, if that's okay, Krishna. I've frozen. All right, okay. So Krishna's on the phone, which is obviously relevant. So I'm going to invite Stephen back in again. And the invitation's been sent. And I'm not getting the delay I was getting a moment ago where I'm getting the replay. The situation now is I think it was coming from Stephen's PC. Good, okay, yeah, thank you, Krishna. It was interesting. I discovered by accident the way to actually start the show is not on the broadcast itself, it's on your profile page. I'm not getting the delay I was getting a moment ago. Right now, I can hear myself, but the situation now is I think it was coming from Stephen's PC. Good. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Krishna. Krishna, can you? I discovered by accident the way to actually start the show is not on the broadcast itself. It's on your profile page. I'm not getting the delay I was getting around. Right. Okay. Now I can hear myself, but the situation now is that. All right. It's gone. That's better. Are we live, Stephen? Are we live, Stephen? Oh, right, thanks, Kevin. Right, Kevin, would you like to join us? I'm going to send an invitation to Kevin to join us, and we'll see if anything happens with that. We are experimenting today. So there's not a major problem. Right, Kevin, would you like to join us? Right, Stephen, your audio's up the. You're about 5 seconds behind.
Shall I switch off?
We'll see if. Yeah, we are. So but you can track it. This. So it's not coming back in because there was. I'm hearing myself. This is time travel at its best. I'm hearing myself from 5 seconds ago. Your audio's up the. You're about 5 seconds behind.
Shall I switch off?
We'll see if. Yeah, we are. But you can track it. This. So it's not coming back in because there was. I'm hearing myself. This is time travel at its best. Right. Okay. I was going to invite you. When Stephen, if you can hear me. When I invited you, what happened? Right. Okay. Hearing myself. This is time travel. Okay. I was going to invite you. What happened? Have you got your browser open? When I invited you, what happened? I was got your own browser open. Okay. Mute myself, but I can't mute Steve. Oh, wait a minute. I can. I can mute Stephen, and then I'm not hearing it. So it's obviously coming from Stephen's feed. Right. So what we should do is I'm going to, Kevin, if I invite you in, you should on your screen see an invitation. And if you accept that, so I've sent the invite now, and you should on your screen be seeing an invitation, and there's a time limit on it. And yes, okay. I'm going to invite you again. Are you on mobile, Kevin, or on PC? No, you must be on. Right, so it's saying invite sent. So you should have a situation where you got being asked to join. Right, and a question for Stephen: are you on Chrome or Firefox? Okay. Right, I'm going to invite Kevin again. Kevin, you should be on your screen. Right, okay, I'm going to stop for a minute. Right, Kevin, can you refresh your browser? And on the top left, where your permissions are, you know you've got, when you click the icon top left on the URL bar, you've got permissions for the camera and the microphone. There's also permissions for the pop-ups. Yeah, so I'm okay. Right, so it says invite sent. So that's good. You should now. Right.
Can you see me?
Okay. I can see you. Yes, we are live.
Okay. So you couldn't see me before?
No.
Right. What happens is quite bizarre, really.
Yep.
You get a pop-up window that says, "Would you like to accept the invite?" You click yes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't put you live. A little green button comes on the top of the screen, and you have to click that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I'd gone live, and I hadn't.
It's like having your own green room.
Yes.
Yeah? So you see yourself on camera, you decide whether you look good or not, and then when you press start streaming, it starts streaming.
Exactly that.
We're learning as we go along. What do you think of the picture quality?
I think the picture quality is very good, though I'm getting it slightly blurred as I'm moving like that.
What about when I move?
No, it looks okay.
Yeah, okay. And Christian says the sound is good. And Stephen's lost audio. Stephen, if you close Chrome and restart it and then come back in again, we'd love to have you on air so we can all test it out together.
What was interesting was when there was 3 on here,
Yeah.
you as the host moved to the top,
Yeah.
and then us 2 were underneath. I'd like to see it with 6 on it.
Oh yeah, so that's what we want to build up to 6. We've got 5 people watching at the moment. On the right hand side, I can see yourself, Stephen, and Dan. Dan's here. Dan,
But
would you
the
like to
audio is
come on
very
air?
good.
Yeah, we'd like to come on air, Dan. There's just the 5 of us here. We can confirm that because
I also have a little button that's faded out above, just at the top of my head, that says stop streaming.
Yeah.
So if I want to stop, that's how I get out.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we're going for it. Invitation gone to Dan. And Dan, as Kevin said, 2-stage process. Accept the invitation. And then when you're happy with your screen image, press start stream. Okay.
Hello.
Right. Hello. We have 3 of us. Right. Okay, but now we can see. Yes. Right. Okay. So we've now got 3. And we're still stable. I mean, once we've all focused up, as the picture size reduces, the quality improves. Right. Okay. Yeah. And
it's not quite so scary having you on half of the screen now. It looks really big having you taking up a whole half of the screen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, now you've just appeared on. There's a little circle on my screen, Evan.
Yeah. You can do that.
Oh, it's gone there.
No, it's only there for a few seconds. Bottom right hand corner, you can see selfie. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was when I was messing about with that?
Krishna, who has a show on Sundays, has written an article all about Huzza, which is a good read. So we can have a read of that. Now, the first thing you notice when I put the link in is that it's text only, so you've got to cut and paste. You can't just press the link. Yeah. No, I'm gonna try something. Okay, because that's what we're here for.
It's recording, Stephen, by the way.
So, hang on. Yes. All right. Okay, we'll come to that. Right. It records automatically.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as I go live on air, it starts recording, and it records until the end of the show. And then at the end of the show, gets sent in MP4. No, there's no MP3, but there is an MP4 sent to the host, and then the host can send it out to everybody else.
Was that a setting you had to switch on, or was it a default setting that you can't switch off?
It's a default. I don't think I can switch off, but I haven't actually done that.
So they want you to record it then. That's interesting.
Yeah, they want you to record. There's no. I mean, you could have a private session just by restricting the link.
What are you eating, Dan? Because you're making me feel hungry.
Private recorded session, yeah. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, very good. Right, okay. On today's menu.
Mozzarella and pepper.
Brilliant. Right. So you do get the recording automatically, and it repositions everybody to be lined up slightly differently. So Dan wouldn't be in the centre on the recording; he would be on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So yeah. And
is this the free version you're using?
Sorry.
Is this the free version?
No. As soon as you sign up, you're on the 30-day trial on the paid version. And on the paid version, we have down the side, we've got the text, we've got the selfies, we've got the questions and answers, and we can see who's live at the moment. Yep. And we can see we've got one person who's not logged in but watching.
And you've got the money stuff as well.
Yep, you've got basically there's the money tab, and you can put items for sale in there, which people can click during the broadcast itself. Yeah, but I mean the 2 keys for me here are the stability and the quality.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess on the right hand side where you've got question, answer, and chat, Q&A goes only to the host, does it?
Right. Okay. If people can right. Okay. Before we started, there was a show page, and you could ask a question there, which is what I did. So you can get people to ask questions before the show starts. And when you ask the questions, you just done down. Press show question to audience, and can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. And you ask a question, and I press show to audience.
Okay.
You can see the question. I can't see it actually, but that's possibly me.
Oh, there's a vote under it as well. What is?
Where did the question? Where does the question appear?
For me, it's come on top of Dan's face. I think for Dan, it's probably come on top of mine. All right.
It's sort of slightly off centered to the right on the bottom half of the screen.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it probably depends on what monitor you're watching on.
Yeah. So
I've got quite a big monitor, so.
Yeah. I'm still searching for it. It's got to be somewhere. If you can see it, I'll take that it worked. Right.
But it's got a vote on it.
Right, and Stephen's ready to come back. So we're going to go 4 up. Invitation sent to Stephen, and Stephen will join us, and then we'll be 4 up.
And we'll see if he breaks it again.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's no, you're fine this time. Yeah.
Cool. It looks really nice, doesn't it?
I think the quality, the video quality and the sound quality are pretty darn good. Right, I'm just going to see if we can, if I go to my page, see if we can get another 2 people involved. If you want to send the word out as well.
How do we send the word out?
Right, okay, I'm going to paste the link in.
Oh, there's no share button that's while we're live.
No.
Oh,
It's a shame.
good point. Yeah, I'll put that question to them later. You can share before the event. The share,
hang on.
The share button's gone off the profile page as well.
No, I've got it here.
Bottom right,
Yeah.
just left of the right-hand panel, there's a few icons for muting and what have you.
Oh,
One of them like share.
Right, I've just tweeted it out.
I'm just Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah.
oh, right, okay.
It hasn't told you I've tweeted it out.
No, interesting. Right, okay, I'm just going to take a sidebar and just live now on, where are we today? Huzza.
Right, and it works. That's cool.
Yeah.
Where is Krishna? Where is the share to Twitter and Facebook on the desktop? And I'm on a MacBook OS X Chrome.
Yeah, I'm
I
on
don't
Chrome.
see anything on the left-hand side.
Have you across the bottom of your screen? Have you got sort of like a slightly darkened strip across the bottom full width?
No.
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 Hover your mouse over it, guys.
Have you got bottom left-hand corner a little live?
Yes.
Right. If you if you go right, have you got any icons before you get to the left?
Loudspeaker. Sorry, speaker.
And then one
screen.
there.
And a share thingy. Okay.
Right. Okay, now for the big test. I'm going to go, where should I go? Right. Okay, something that was available on Lab was screen share. And I'm going to do a screen share now on here.
You've gone away.
Oh.
Someone is sharing.
Right.
My video's disappeared apparently.
Yeah.
But you can still hear me.
So we can only have the screen share, but not the
Due to what you've done, Stephen, apparently. I had a message on the screen.
All right, okay, I'll stop sharing.
And now you're back. You're all back.
Right,
I
okay,
like
so
that a lot.
as soon as I share the screen, you all disappear.
likewise.
Right, okay.
And when,
All of our images disappear, Stephen, but
Yep.
the audio is still there. But
Yeah,
it goes full screen.
I lost audio when you all came back, but then when I switched my speaker off and on, you came back. That's audio.
Yeah. Okay, so but if we just, I've just that temporarily for a second. I just want to see the quality of the share. Yeah. In that it's actually nearly full screen.
So I've got a message up from the system. Someone is sharing their screen. Your video will disappear, but your audio is still being broadcast. And now you've all come back.
Yeah.
No audio, so I've got to do that.
Right. So if you're doing a demonstration on here, then the thing about the showing the screen is that it's nearly full size, whereas on Lab it was squished. So it means that if you show your screen, it's actually legible, which I think is a benefit. Okay, and
Can you, Stephen, just while you're doing the screen sharing stuff, can you go back to full screen and then scroll up and down just to see how quickly it takes it?
The page that I'm sharing now, I'm scrolling down. Okay, and I'm going to get cricket in here somehow. Switching page.
Perfect.
Okay, so the speed of it. I'll get back on the right browser. I locked out that browser. Oh, God,
If you stay cut on me.
right, I'm going to stop sharing now. You should all be back.
Mine says archiving on now.
Yeah, archiving on means that it's recording.
And I've got
Okay.
lost my audio again.
And it also says I can see done broadcasting. Click start broadcasting to start again. We've broken it.
So I've got archiving on and a little red button. You haven't on yours as far as I can see.
Yeah, we've got audio when the screen share is on. And now I'm going to invite Brenda to join us, so that we'll go to phone. Right, but Brenda's not on desktop. So you can only invite people onto screen if they're on the desktop application rather than being on a portable. Okay, so that, but right. There is a public page for this as well, which I'm going to close. Yeah, pin a link. I'm going to try pin a link now. That's an option at the bottom, top of the screen. And you should now see a link that I've posted and be able to click it. So you can, the host can share links, yeah, during the course of the show, and that stays for 60 seconds and then will disappear. Yeah.
So how did you do that?
Right, at the top of my screen, I've got additional menu options to what you may be seeing. I've got invite guest to broadcast and pin a link.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, and I can also go out to the public event page, which is quite possibly. All right, okay, and we've just discovered, as Krishna said, pin link is not available on mobile, so it's only working on the desktop. What's the quality like on mobile, Krishna? Yeah. All right, we could do with 2 more people, and we'll get it up to 6. I'm going to post there. Oh, no, I can't. I'm going to post in Prospect as well.
Dan, that's the loudest tearing I think I've ever heard. So did anyone click on the link that Stephen put up?
Yeah, I tweeted it.
It was in fact a link to this show.
Can you re-put the link up? Because I want to click on it and see if it takes me out of the show or whether it opens up a new tab.
Okay, just a minute. Let's get a URL you can use.
And if I leave for any reason, you'll know why.
Yeah, okay. So pin a link, and I'm putting a URL in, and so for 60 seconds.
It was a cricket link, wasn't it?
Oh dear.
Right, so it doesn't take you out of the actual thing. It opens up in a new tab, which is pretty cool.
Right. We just need 2 more people, and I'll put that message into Prospect. So we'll see if we can, yeah,
Entice someone in.
Entice someone in, yeah. It'd be good to see the setup. But I mean, from a technical point of view, other than a different way to start the show, a different way to get in, and all that, it's as easy as blabbing. Once you start broadcasting, it's just creating a show is a doddle. Basically, you go to create a show, you give it a title, you give it a description. Now, that's something you couldn't do on Blab. You can give it a full-blown, multi-paragraph description, and you can set it to go now or at some time in the future. And you then get a show page, a permanent show page, which you can then send people to. And as you all did, put your email address in there. And at the end of the show, I will get the CSV file for everybody who's joined in.
But you actually log on to the gig with your Twitter handle, don't you?
Yeah. But you've already given your email address.
Yeah.
I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it on my timeline as well. If you can catch anybody. Yeah. The one that's with Facebook, it doesn't actually show the full thing.
I think it's scaling up and down the, and it's pretty clever in that if you go to horizontal, vertical, move vertical alignment, it just squeezes you. Yeah. But it's doing the covers, and it's really quite responsive.
Right. I've also got an invite guest to broadcast button at the top, and you need to put their email address in for that. Right, but scrolling on the text is good. The only thing we need is somebody to be try the free version, then we know what that looks like.
There's one thing it can't do that you can do on Blab.
Okay.
You can't mute individual people on this.
Top right-hand corner, I think.
No, you can only mute yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Blab, if I didn't want to hear you, Stephen, for instance, I could just mute you.
Yep. Okay.
You can either mute yourself or adjust the volume for the whole thing.
Right. Okay. I'm just. Dan, can you say something?
Yeah, something.
Can everybody hear Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear him. Right.
Yeah.
Top right-hand corner. I can mute it so I don't hear people. So obviously, that's a host privilege.
And now I've unmuted
I can hear you
myself.
again now, Dan. You're okay.
Yeah. So I muted myself.
Yeah.
Clicked it, and I'm back again.
Right.
But only myself.
Right. Okay. And Krishna just gave an observation for mobile that if you're moving around the office, then the sound is transmitted on mobile as well. Okay. Right. Anything else you want to try out?
There is another downside to this as well.
Yeah.
We can't interact as well on the chat. So on Blab, we can like someone's comment with a star,
Yep.
or we can reply directly to them.
Yeah.
You can't do any of that in the chat for us.
Right. Yeah. It's a bit rudimentary, isn't it?
Well, it's, yeah. It's just sometimes nice to have a side chat and acknowledge people, and there's side chats happen, don't they? Where people have side conversations. And this
true.
makes it a bit more difficult to do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I can't even put your name in, so you know I can't even do @Stephen, and it comes up and takes you or anything.
Right. Yeah, and the other thing that's missing as well is that if people were watching it now and didn't know the four of us, they had no idea who's who. Yeah, I mean on Blab you've got your name top left-hand corner, you've got your Twitter account, and your profile on Blab. On here there's nothing. So if you came on here, the only way to differentiate is to actually put a lower third on. Yeah. Using something like Minicam or OBS or vMix, saying who you are. Especially, I mean, we're okay because we all know, actually, Christian knows who we are. But if this went out on YouTube, there's nothing to say who's who.
I'll ask again. I've got a note saying archiving on the bottom of bottom left of my screen. Have you got it at the bottom left of yours?
My bottom. I can't see anything. This is my browser problem because I'm looking at a slightly different window.
I've got that archiving on.
You have. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what happens here when I go to the public live event page. Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, can you hear me twice?
No.
Right. Okay. So I've gone to the public live event page and I can now do one or two more things. Right. So when you're hosting a show, you get what is a control panel page. And I'll take a screenshot of it so that we can look at it later. But my screen is different to the screen that you're seeing. And that's why I was bemused before, which happens quite often. Because I couldn't see the beer and the thank yous and the salutes. Right, okay. Now, those three on the bottom, the hands and the beer, etc., you can actually press those and send $1 to the host of the show, or $2, $3 to the host of the show, or even $10. Depends how satisfied you are with the show. Now, the origins of the platform, this was originally designed for musicians. And for musicians to do a broadcast, a live broadcast, and you'll find some in the archives on here, where they come on and play a set for 40, 45 minutes. So what they were looking for is the audience who were drinking beer whilst watching to tip. Yeah. What do you think of the full screen? No, I can actually see the icon. It's still clear to me. Yeah.
I'm using a dual monitor with my laptop and a separate monitor.
Yeah.
And I have the browser window in my external monitor, and I clicked full screen, and it moved it to my laptop, and I can't move it onto the other one. And my external webcam is on top of my external monitor, so to look at you, I'm looking over here, but my camera's over there.
Right. Okay.
And I can't see how to get out of full screen. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because by doing that, it's moved it onto my laptop screen, but I've got my taskbar is extended across that, and it's hidden behind the taskbar, so I can't get to any of the buttons for the volume or the escape out. So you've got to do escape.
Yeah.
Well, that might be the way the taskbar is extended over. But it is a shame that it switched monitor to the home monitor rather than using the one it was already in.
All right, okay, just a minute. I've been told the link I've posted isn't working. That's something learned. I'll just post, that's better. I posted the link from my control panel, so that doesn't work. What you've got to do is post a link from the live page that you're on. Ah. Okay. So we may be joined in a moment by a few more people. Right. Okay.
Do you see any money on your screen, Stephen?
Oh, right. Okay. That's very kind of you. Next to Stephen in the chat, you can see. Thank you very much. Yep. I can see the post. Everybody can. Right. And Dan Christian's just made a comment.
So those things where they're sending money, does that link into PayPal or something, or is that just to protect?
All I got was a screen saying put your card details in, which I did, and it was the usual stuff. And then I had another screen come up saying optional comment, and the commenter put in testing, which has come through to the chat on the right hand side, alongside those clapping hands.
Oh, okay, so it actually processes a payment.
So they're processing it, yes. Well, yeah, that would have to be the case. It's by Stripe. They're using Stripe.
It's my new ringtone.
Sounds like a dying frog.
Right. Okay. Donnie, would you like to come on camera with us? Then we can see what it looks like with 5. We're getting close to our 6. To test it out fully. There are 6 people here now. Right. Yeah, Huzza gets 10 pence.
They get 10%, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you lose part in the Stripe fees as well.
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 10% after the fees. All right, okay.
So it'll be net 6% to them then, if they pay 4% card fees.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Unless we get charged a transaction fee as well by the bank, because it's presumably American or Canadian. You said, didn't you?
It's out of Vancouver.
So is that $1 Canadian?
That's a
good question.
Because that's a lot less than $1 American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually fell foul of this this week, where we had a check come through from Amazon.
Yeah.
And they paid us one in US dollars and one in Canadian.
Oh, right.
We're not impressed.
No, but it's these exchange rates at the moment, with waiting for the vote in 2 weeks' time, been crazy, haven't they?
Well, the Canadian dollar's been very weak for a long period of time. It's been over a year now. They're really suffering.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to post in one more group. See if we can reach the magic number.
So, what's your thoughts at the moment, Stephen?
Right. My thoughts at the moment. Blubbing for Britain will stay on Blab, because that's where most people expect to find us. In terms of doing one-offs with more than 2 people, then I would come here, because when you're introducing somebody to a site, what you don't want is problems. And situation on Huzza is that the picture is stable and good, the sound is stable and good. You've got everything you need in the questions and answers, the right-hand side, and the chat. So everything you need here for more than, if it's outside Blubbing for Britain, may well come on here. For the one-to-one interviews, like with Claire and with Babs, are we going to Fire Talk? Yeah, because Fire Talk is ideally situated, and the text is a lot better on there as well. In fact, we'll look at Fire Talk next week, next Thursday, I think. Then you can get an idea on that. But that's only 2 up, so that's only one person interviewing and one person as a guest. But as that format with people asking text questions works well. So to answer your question, Blab stays on Blubbing for Britain. If there are more than 2 people involved and it's important, it will come across to Huzza. And if it's only 2 people, then I'll go to Fire Talk. It's getting complicated, isn't it?
No, it's getting quite easy to understand. You've got a hierarchy, haven't you? Plenty of users, Blab. No, it's not quite that easy, is it?
Right. And Donny's close to the selfie. Danny is been on Blab.
What is that?
Has, as you've just seen, a wicked sense of humour. She's an artist and helps out. Well, not only helps out, co-hosts the shows for Jonathan Tripp, and has helped many people on Blab.
So anyone watching this can post a selfie as well. They don't have to be on the screen to do it.
Yep. Yeah, anybody can post a selfie. So you can introduce yourself, really.
I wonder if that comes up on the recording as well.
We'll see at the end.
Because that could be quite disruptive.
Yeah, Donny's just said that we can turn it off.
Oh, it's not on the recording.
Yeah. Okay. And that's Stephen's selfie. Now, what can happen if you go back to the selfies? I'm not suggesting anybody do this, but if you go to the selfies tab, you could save it to Pinterest if you wish. Okay, depends how far you want to go.
He doesn't go in the chat though.
No. Right, can I just screen share one last time? Because share your screen. I'm just going to screen share for one last time. Okay, hang on. Sorry about that. I shared the wrong version.
I was a never-ending mirror.
Oh, definition of infinity. Share the wrong window on a live broadcast. I'm interested to see whether that will share on camera. Because I saw it on the broadcasters page rather than on the live page. So that was a failed experiment. I'll not do it again. Because I think the other thing is if you do a screen share on Fire Talk, then you get the same full screen situation, but everybody appears as small photos along the bottom.
I've lost Dan there. I can't see him.
I can't see him either.
I think he's gone.
Can't see me.
No, we can't see you.
Well, that's weird because it still says I'm streaming. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Well,
Yeah,
I can see myself.
Right. Okay.
What if that's a poor connection?
It's in Wiltshire. Everybody's got a good connection.
It could be my browser slowing down. You need to restart it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's going to be Daleki.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And we just heard from Krishna that the order stays the same if you're on mobile, and so it's only the desktop that rearranges itself.
Interesting.
And right. Okay. Alfredo, would you like to come on air? Just a quick yes or no, because we're trying to get to the magic 6. All right. Okay, that's fair. We've posted. I posted this out. I'm just going to post it. Where else can I post it? Any ideas? Prospect. Okay, understood. Anyway, thanks for coming to watch, Alfredo. If you have any tips, right? Okay, Donny, we won't go for 6. Don't want to freeze anybody. It's interesting that what happens is if we do go to 6, as Donny has said, that it does put pressure on the viewer's CPU. Yeah.
So she said you can invite her.
Right. Okay. Invite sent. And
my Mac's running at 185% because of this Chrome.
Yeah.
And the Retina thing, I think.
Right, I'm going to try that. Invite didn't work, so I'm going to invite again. And it says invite sent. So what happens when you're actually broadcasting is under everybody's name on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the text that people are typing, but you can also see everybody's name, and there's an invite button. Yeah, so you can invite into the show anybody who's shown up in text. Other than that, you can invite guests using the broadcast button. Invite guest broadcast button, top left. Right. Okay. Well, it still seem to be stable, which is good. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
I think it depends on what you want to do. Yeah. We've currently got 6 people in here. This show's been going on for nearly an hour.
Yeah.
If this was Blab, we would have had probably 20 or 30 people through the door by now.
Okay. Yeah.
So the amount of people coming on and finding it are much fewer. The engagement with the chat with the other viewers, the interaction there, I find is quite poor. So if you're looking to build and engage at a deeper level with an audience, I don't think this is a great platform for it. If, however, you're looking to do some form of training, webinar, instructional environment where you want to offer the ability for people to, you know, give it to them for free, but if they can tip you, yeah, so you could make some cash out of it. I think this is probably a much better platform than Blab.
And Dan's advertising. Good on you, man. That'll be in the video. Quite right.
Did you hear all of that? Because my sound went.
No, we heard everything. If you're looking to monetize, this is an easy way to do it, isn't it? Well, because what you're actually saying is, give me between $1 and $10, depending. It's like saying, well, if you value the information, send me between $1 and $10.
But there's no way to build an audience or to engage with people at any good level on here. I can't click on any of their profiles and follow them or find them or see even what they do.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big, for me, that's a big failing.
Right. The only thing about that is if you were broadcasting at the end, you would get the CSV file with the email addresses.
Yeah,
but during the live broadcast, you're screwed.
You will as the presenter, but will everybody else?
No, not unless I send them to you. But that's it. It's a presenter's wish, and then you still have to. But yeah.
But you've still only had 6 people in since you started.
No, that's
or is that 6 live?
That's 6 live. I'll get the stats at the end of the show.
Okay.
To show how many people have been in. We've got the URL we showed earlier. Don't know. We'll get the stats at the end, and I'll publish those so we can see how many people have actually been in. Because I'm not sure, but discoverability-wise, trying to find this, you can't unless you've given a link. Yeah. Or you check out my profile on Huzza, which will show you the upcoming shows. So you've got your own personal profile. You could send people to that and say, right, okay, if you want to see our latest shows, then just go here. And you do then have a calendar, which has got all your shows on it. So if you've got 3 shows next week, people don't have to search. They're actually listed with date and time on your profile page. There's a big but here. Right, okay, and this is the big but. I'm going to read it from Dorney. Apparently, you have to be on the $39 a month plan in order to have more than one person on the screen. Now we get to the catch.
Well, that's okay if you're monetising it. So they want you to monetise it. They want you to be earning money from this. They don't want you they don't want you just chatting and building an audience and taking their videos. They want you making money, so you can pay them.
Indeed, if you make money, they make money.
So this is a monetised platform in their eyes.
Sorry to be silly or daft, but what does it mean? What does she mean by saying more than one person on the screen? Because we've got 4 on it now.
Right,
what does it mean?
I'm on a free 30-day trial.
Right.
Of the paid version.
Right.
So we're getting the advantage of being on the $39.
Oh, I see. Okay.
At the moment, if we've gone free, which will happen at the end of 30 days if you didn't pay $39, then only one person on screen. So it's equivalent to broadcasting, isn't it? Yeah. So interesting. Right, and Christian's just pointed out that you can embed the live show on your web page. I'm just going to check that out, because I did embed it on the blog I wrote about this. Right, okay, now, over the months on Blab, I've met some very interesting people, and Krishna and Dorney, and in that I would include David. Good people who know their stuff and no nonsense people, and at the same time helpful. And welcome, David. Would you like to come on air? All right. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I'm inviting David on air. David was on yesterday on the platform with. Right. So we've now got 5. So we can imagine. Hello, David. Nice to see you.
Morning,
and we're
everyone.
actually connecting the UK with the USA for the first time on Huzza. Brilliant.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. The technology, eh?
Who'd have thunk it?
It's great, isn't it?
Right. Just a quick 30 seconds for each of us to say what we do, and then we all know each other a little bit better as we're here. Or not.
I'll start. I sell emotional analytics technology.
Kevin? Done?
I run a award-winning raw chocolate business.
I didn't hear what he said. He were award-winning what?
Raw chocolate business.
Nice.
Oh, it's very nice. The young scrummies, which stand in advertising, beautiful chocolate. And you'll find that Dan and I have chatted on several occasions, and they're all on YouTube, about how it started off. Well, Dan, you tell it quick. Do you want to tell the story while Kevin's deciding to say?
Once upon a time. No, just a great adventure that my wife and I are on. Got a raw chocolate business, and probably the best thing is if you want to join and watch us on the 15th of June for rawchoc.tv.
This is true. 15th of June next week.
Stephen.
The rawchoc.tv station starts, and it will start on Blab. And we did the show this morning, Blab, and that was perfect. David, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
I'm David. I work for a whole telecommunications company, and I help entrepreneurs build a more profitable list.
Brilliant, thank you. And Kevin? Kevin,
well, I'm the other half of Saki Media with my good lady Sarah, who's all very well known for her blogging capabilities, and ultimately we help people become visible online for their business.
Brilliant. Okay, right, Derry, what do you think of the platform?
I'm enjoying it. It's got a lot of nice features. Currently, this is the only live Huzza going on.
Right.
So it's still to me, it's still at the early stages. I learned yesterday, somebody told me yesterday early on that it had only been out for a couple of days, and then I learned, well, no, they've been around since last year. I never heard of them, so I don't know what they were doing. I guess just building the platform up. But it's got a lot of interesting things. I've seen a lot of interesting feedback, especially from people that are watching. Some people have issues with some of us freezing up.
Okay.
Some people have issues with the more people that are, the more screens.
Yep.
The worse the quality gets for them.
Yep. And we've just managed to crash Donnie's machine, so that illustrates your point.
Yeah. And Donnie's, so she's right. We think of this, in a television capacity as being just one event, but what ends up happening is because of WebRTC, these are actually 5 separate video streams coming into someone's system. So if their internet bandwidth is not good, or if their system is not capable of handling so much, because video is very intensive in the resources, then you're going to have these types of issues. So again, this is going to be really interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting on the app on the iPhone. I don't know if it's on the iPad, except for maybe a ported version. And I know it's not on Android. But again, on a mobile, if you're not hooked up to a power source, so if you're not connected to your wall outlet, then you're running off your battery. Video is intensive. It's going to eat up. It's going to heat up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what it is. But with the other things that I've seen, the ability for the tipping's interesting. I don't know if I completely agree with the icons, but those can change. It's interesting. So
yeah. I'm going to put my hands up here. I gave out a quote earlier without any attribution. And you are the person who said yesterday, if you can't afford $39 to run on here, then you shouldn't be here, because you should be using it to do business.
Well, no. That's not completely what it was. If that's what was interpreted, then I didn't mean it that way. There are features in the free version that are not. So everybody right now is kind of in their 30-day trials. So that's why you have the ability for multiple broadcasters and all this other functionality. If once that happens, if you go free, you lose quite a few things. So you'll lose the ability for multiple broadcasters. You'll lose the ability for the Patreon, various different other things. But at that price point, if you're in business and this platform does work out, that's a very easy price point to justify and pay for monthly. You just need to step your game up is basically what it is. And that's what this platform is. It's not social. It's not designed for social. Now, Nick has got Nick, who's one of the founders and I guess developers, is doing a Huzza later today. and I've got the link somewhere.
Okay.
I'm going to stop streaming on this MacBook and go onto my iPhone and see what happens.
Okay. Okay, Stephen. See you shortly.
Now you
Right.
you cannot join. You can only watch. You cannot broadcast from the app.
Yeah.
You know, who knows if that's going to change or not? I don't know. You know, again, if this is a more professional thing, if you're doing webinars and that type of stuff, you're not really going to be doing it from your phone. You know, because that's Periscope. So there's the link right there.
Okay.
For Nick's Q&A today, Justin and Nick.
That should be
talking about it.
Should be very live this session. Dan, what are your impressions of the platform?
Quality seems good. Yeah, definitely sort of the sort of video and sound quality is good. I think many of the same comments as Kevin. Really, it's a shame that there's no way of identifying who's on the screen with their name or their Twitter handle or whatever it is, the way that we have on Blab. Because if, like you say, if someone joins this now and don't know who's who, then there's no information for them. And I like the ability to be able to mute individual people. I know it's probably not as essential as a viewer or someone participating, but sometimes someone has something which causes a bit of feedback in one feed. And it's a shame that things like the links in the chat aren't clickable, and that there's no way of clicking on the people's messages in the chat to find out more about them. So really echoing much of what has already been said. But I think there's some sort of, I think the quality seems pretty good. But yeah, I have noticed that as soon as we get sort of 4 people in here, it does start really eating up my Chrome processor.
Right.
And I won't be surprised if I'm going to have to restart Chrome again, which is what happened last time. And I haven't got many tabs open at all. I've opened up less tabs than before and closed some other programs. But yeah, Chrome's using a lot of memory.
Mm-hmm.
And
to the point that you were mentioning on some of the things, and I've heard this from other people about clickable links and seeing people's profiles and those types of things. Again, those are social aspects, and they are not building this platform for social. So they are building this platform as a way to I wouldn't totally agree with that. Yes, they are social aspects, but they're also actually a really important part. In my opinion, they're a really important part. If you're hosting a show, it's a really important thing for me for people to be able to interact on multiple levels, rather than just seeing a name there and not actually be able to click on it. I mean, not clicking on the link is a basic web functionality, in my opinion. I mean, having non-clickable links is back to... Well, no, I agree with that, and so that type of thing, clicking on the link. But again, if you approach this from the possibility of webinar, there's no some of those social features that we are used to in Blab and stuff, which is not a webinar platform. And as a social platform, they don't exist in GoToWebinar or Zoom or Webinar, Hangouts or any. I mean, you can find little things out, but I do agree with the clickable links. I do think that should be in. However, I can understand why it's not, because now, Stephen, I'm assuming, yes, this is Stephen's Huzza.
Carry on.
And so, if he doesn't want somebody, somebody who's in the chat to be able to, distract or put in a link, that leads people to something that, could create fraud or spam or virus, malware or anything like that. I can actually understand that, as a way of a protection, because again, essentially this is Stephen's webinar. And so, if I clicked on it, and it took me somewhere and something happened, I could essentially sit there and then, blame Stephen for it. It's like, well, Stephen's webinar had this, even though Stephen had nothing to do with it. So, it's interesting. It's kind of like, you draw out a list of pros and cons and whatever it is that you can list with.
To the point that you said blame, because for me, anyone using the internet in this day and age has to understand and accept responsibility that if they click on a link, something might happen. And you can't lay that down on somebody.
I agree completely.
So you had me until you said that, I'm afraid.
Well, I just see you get that, and probably everybody in here gets that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not the status quo. That's not the norm. Most people get on the internet and just click and do and whatever. That's how so many systems get infected in the first place. Let me open up this email from somebody I've never seen before, asking for help because they're in Nigeria. Duh.
The thing with that is, though, which is quite interesting, is if this is going to be viewed more as a webinar platform to monetize, then why would you not invest $39 with a proper webinar platform for start? Because the features on it are much, much more advanced than this. And secondly, if there are no intentions of doing the social side of it, why are we going back to 1995? Because everything has social aspect to it now. And even within a webinar, you can have side conversations going on, even in the webinar platforms. That type of thing, for me, is an absolute killer on any platform to not have that. Because we build our business on interaction, as most people, I believe, nowadays should. And it's about
future.
But not the future. Even though this may be my show, I want people coming in and talking to each other and starting having conversations while they're listening to what we're talking about. And we've done this so many times where businesses have ended up with joint ventures and collaborations on side chats. I don't want to stop that happening. And if this platform prevents that happening, then I see this as a massive step backwards in the progression of what's available online to promote your business. I don't see it as a good thing at all. I really don't.
Right. Okay. Well, obviously,
I think if you're going to use it as an instructional platform, as in you do training, I love the fact you can share your whole screen and all of that. Then great. It seems an easy way to make some money on it. It's restricted to $10 and it's not an entry level. You've got to pay to get into it. Maybe it's a good option for that. But
the
more I'm struggling with it.
There's a feature that Stephen hasn't used, and it's probably just because he doesn't have anything to set up with it. So there's a shop feature. So so in mine, I've actually set it up with like a couple T-shirts. But you can do whatever you want. And so up at the top where you see the chat and the Q&A, if Stephen had it set up, there would be another one called Shop. And so people could go there, they'll actually see an image, they can click on it, it will take them to that page and they can complete the transaction. So you've got more ways to be able to do that type of stuff. If you set yourself up with Patreon, and I don't use that service, so I'm not completely familiar and haven't played around with it, but there are some other things they can do. You can private, so on the paid versions, you can lock this or password protect them. So if you want to do like a Patreon only event for your Patreon supporters and stuff, there are different aspects that can happen. So I agree. The biggest thing is, to me, it's brand new. So it's all just kind of it's fun. Let's play around with it. Let's see what we can do. And just, go from there. I agree completely with the social aspect of I want people chatting and getting along and answering. I love that type of interaction. I'm not sure I know of a viable webinar platform for $40 a month that supports these types of features, or all the features that are in there. I do know of platforms that are free that give you chat and Q&A, but they don't give you the ability to, So like I say, it's to me, it's free. It's fun. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the motivation for being here is that we've all used and enjoyed using Blab since we first arrived on the platform. We found it such a joy to use. I mean, Blab succeeded in building a community, and communities grew from that. And everybody enjoyed broadcasting, and we're all happy, little fish swimming in the pond. And then Blab obviously had a meeting where they said, well, how do we monetize this? And, you know, and then they went for the iOS app. And so we do have to look for an alternate platform, and we're not going to find another Blab. Or do you think we'll find another Blab?
So what are they doing with Blab? They're taking it off of PC, and it's only going to be...
No, I'm sorry, we don't know what they're going to do, and that's the problem. There are two problems. We know they launched the Bebo app, and they're concentrating on getting that out to 16 to 24-year-olds. That's the market. And they're targeting that, and they're going out in schoolyards, and they're showing the app to youngsters, well, not schoolyards, colleges, and basically trying to get tens of thousands, if not tens of millions, onto a four-way video chat app on iOS and later on Android. The problem with that is that they've got their engineers working on that, and they've only got so many engineers. So Blab has suffered, and we've suffered. Jonathan on his Tuesday show was kicked out twice. I know it's happened to the two of us and to Stephen as well, where you get kicked out of the show, you've not done anything, you can't get back in, you've got to keep trying to get back in. We're having problems that just weren't there a couple of months ago before we redeployed everybody. And that's the reason. It's not good. Nobody said Blab is finishing, but the implication is that if you're running a serious show, then Blab might not be the place to be. David, your take on it?
Oh, I agree completely. I don't think that I don't think the Blab has ever been the place for it. I know that a lot of people tried to make it something that it wasn't, and for a while, the people at Blab played along. Ooh, that's a neat thing. Yeah, let's see what that does, and all this type of stuff. The problem is there's a great book called Who Moved My Cheese? Our cheese was moving, but we weren't paying attention. We were definitely all him and haw pretty much on the platform. But when I was doing stuff on with the show and interviews and stuff, I only did a few. And the reason I did is because it became too much work, and the fun went away. It became too much like work. And there were issues that I was already noticing. And this was way back in January and February. So a show takes money and investment. Blab is fun for free and to do little things like that. And you can do free and stuff, but it's it really depends on what you want to do. But if this is a business, if this is something that is not a hobby, you're not doing the hobby hustle with your show. We're actually trying to build a following and provide good content and stuff. Then this is a good platform to take a look at, because you're able to monetize it and have people put skin in the game. So Skype and OBS are similar to Facebook Live. Here's the problem with OBS and all the softwares out there like OBS. They are software systems. They are very taxing on people's computers, desktops and laptops. And more people have laptops nowadays than they do desktops. And while they, can work, you actually can end up reducing the life of it. And it becomes its own. The other problem is there's a lot of friction. Okay, see, we get, again, I agree with Stephen. Blab introduced everyone to a whole bunch of wonderfulness. It was just pretty much click a button and your show is live. And there was nothing that you had to do, nothing that you had to go, all these different things. And so, now it's like Blab's not working right. What do we do? Well, there are all these solutions. Yeah, but they require a lot of learning and know-how and work. OBS is not just a point-and-click type thing, because it's like we're taking the simplicity out of it. And for some people that have that know-how and that's what they do, that's fine. But most of the people that are on Blab, they're not there that way. Now, if you're a business and you are trying to serve your community the best that you can, and you want to offer, of course, the free content, but you also want to be able to do things that are easy for people to, join in and can actually support you by paying you and that type of stuff, then something like this is a good alternative to look at. But again, there's nobody on this platform. There's nobody on this service that's really using this service. I mean, I'm not talking about Steven's webinar or Huzza that he has going on right now. I want to see 20, 100, 300, 500 other Huzzas going on with people in there and multiple screens. Then I want to see how their systems scale as more people come on and do stuff. That's really what I see. Like right now, oh my gosh, I already forgot his name. The chocolate guy. He came back on, and I hear echo. Because he doesn't have these on. So those are all just various different things that people have to deal with. And now his video is gone. He's gone to audio only. Probably because his Chrome kept crashing.
Yeah. I mean, Krishna just said it's great to have options, and we've got too many of them, I think, because we're looking to, Facebook Live, if that goes group chat, that's a possibility. There are so many options that are coming up. It's an exciting time to be involved. And,
I'm not entirely. I am not on the Facebook Live bandwagon yet. Still, I could really care less that there's 1.5 billion people on Facebook Live. Here's the problem: Facebook is not doing video very well. Not just live video, but their normal video. I did a 15-second, 20-second video in my group the other day, and the audio's out of sync. All I did was sit there and pick my phone up and shoot the video like I do anything else, and the audio, so that's a Facebook thing, right? I'm not happy with. I'm not on that bandwagon yet. It's not. Facebook needs to. The problem with platforms and trying to do too much is that they become very mediocre to poor in everything, and they don't become great in anything. And that's why I don't know. I mean, that's why when people talk about video and where to host it, YouTube. Go to YouTube. Why? Because that's what YouTube does. Video.
Yeah. Is there any news on anything coming out from YouTube?
Nothing's new. I mean, we all got those rumors back in March about YouTube Connect or YouTube Live or whatever. Well, YouTube Live already exists. YouTube Connect, and it's still not come around. But that's Google. That they're going to keep their lips sealed until they actually push it out. I think everybody was kind of disappointed that there was nothing about any kind of YouTube anything really at the Google I/O conference a few weeks back. They announced Allo and whatever the other thing was, and while they seem neat, I was like a lot of people, why do we need another chat app? What's wrong with Hangouts or whatever? But anyway, no, I haven't heard about that. There's another platform that's been still hasn't reached beta yet, but that's because they're still working on it. It's called Go Live With.
Yes.
They've got a lot of this. So what's really interesting to me is a lot of what we have in here, Go Live With has supposedly in their platform. I've not seen it because and I've been waiting for the beta since January.
Leland Best is in the same situation as yourself. That he has been waiting as well, because he and I were on Fire Talk the other day, which worked beautifully. But that's just two up. Mm-hmm. We did an hour's chat on Fire Talk the other day, and that was two up, and that was absolutely brilliant. I mean, the Fire Talk has potential as well if you're only going two up, and they've said that they will not go four up, which is a decision on their part. Which is, at least you know where you are, and you know where they are as well.
Well, Yeah. You know, at least they've made their stand, and Fire Dog's been around for a long time, and they've just kind of been real, you know, quiet in the background. They've got a certain group of people on there that use it. You know, all this live video stuff like this and Blab and Periscope is still in its infancy. And they're still trying to figure things out of what does and doesn't work, and you know, where are the issues at. Periscope's not without issues. You know, so who knows? The only people I can tell you that know video is YouTube.
Right.
And that's why everybody's kind of excited to see what they push out, because that's what people know. They know that YouTube knows video. So anyway, Stephen, I appreciate you inviting me in here. I am going to drop off. I'm going to continue listening in the background. Hopefully I didn't
Sorry.
Huzza Jack,
Sorry.
I guess.
No, you didn't Huzza Jack at all. I mean, I'm looking forward to the session that they're doing themselves tonight, and I think that's a very good idea, because then you'll be able to ask them the question, have you stress tested this site? Which is
well, you know, if you go to their site, and I find this funny, and if I get the chance to ask it, I might. I don't know. We'll see, because I don't want to seem like I'm pegging them. On their site for their where you get to the pricing options and the $200, you get up to when you pay $200 a month, they allow you up to 3,000 viewers and multi-broadcasts, and a lot of neat stuff that you can put in there. But in there, they say, you know, got more than 3,000, let us know. We can support hundreds of thousands of live viewers. If you've never done that, how do you, you know, the only way to test that is to actually say that is to actually have tested it. So I'd be very interested to know how they did, you know, hundreds of thousands of live viewers, you know, and all that type of stuff. And I think that's just kind of somebody, you know, I can sit there and put pen to paper, and I can work out scalable numbers. And those are all well and fine. That's what we have to go off of in the first place. But until you test it in real life, who knows? So, yeah. And Stephen, I don't know if you know, but since you're in your creator dashboard, up at the top, it talks about pin post or pin something. I can't remember what the actual word is. Yep, pin a link. So you can actually take the link that I gave you for Stephen, for Nick and Justin's thing, and you can put a little thing in there, and then you can put that link in there, and it will post for up to 60 seconds.
Okay.
And people can click that. That is a clickable link. I know one thing that I would like to see that I don't think they have the ability to do is a co-host of sorts, somebody to be able to also kind of run things in the side, if you know, because again, if you're the sole guy and the chat's going wild and you need to eject people or queue people up. And then we've got your questions. Yep.
Yeah.
And then that pops that up like that. So anyway, play around with it, everyone. It's lots of fun. Thanks a lot, Stephen. Have a great one.
Thanks for
everyone.
Catch you later.
Okay.
I think
Right.
as we've been running, I'm on my own now. Right. I'd like to thank everybody who's joined me today. I hope that you try Huzza out for yourself, and if you can, catch the show by Huzza themselves later today. I do think it has potential, and it is horses for courses. Blubbing for Britain will stay on Blub. When I'm doing interviews one-on-one, then they will go to Firecast, and if I'm looking to, if anything happens to Blub, I will come here. So we've future-proofed, which I think we've got to be. We've got to try out the systems. We've given it a fair trial. Thank you, everybody who's helped do that today. And thank you, Krishna, for all the help and advice that you've given. Thank you to Dawny as well. In fact, thank you to everybody who's joined in. I'm going to stop streaming now, and I'll catch you, if not later today, later in the week. And thank you, and goodbye from myself on Huzza.